Hey, I'm Ashley, and this is my husband Colin. At the start of this year, we traded in our camper van and bought a 1991 50-foot sailboat. Colin has a ton of sailing experience, but me, not so much. Our plan is to update our boat and start our adventure around the world. Come along with us as we experience the lows and the highs of sailing.
So one thing we did not really document that well on our way down was that our brand new Zodiac that we just bought, actually came with a hole in it from the factory. So when it was being shipped, one of the chafing pads moved, and therefore it chafed all through shipping. So when we inflated the Zodiac back in New York, the starboard tube actually held air for maybe 30 seconds before deflating. It was a process, but we are actually exchanging that boat out for a brand new one at the Zodiac North American headquarters outside of Charleston here. At first they wanted to repair it, but given that it was a brand new boat, I didn't want to run around for the next 5 to 10 years with a boat that's been repaired. And they graciously accepted that, so they are now going to be replacing it with a brand new boat. So I am off to go grab the boat from the repair shop where I dropped it off a couple weeks ago, and then exchange our old boat for a brand new one. I just picked up the Zodiac from Air, Sea, and Safety here in Charleston. Super wonderful, great to work with compared to the dealer that we actually bought the boat from. I am now taking the Zodiac there to the Zodiac North American headquarters in Somerville, and we're going to be doing the exchange there. So that's what's coming up next. Back at the marina, waiting on Ashley to come help unload this and grab a dock cart. But I'm excited. We are gonna have a working dinghy that doesn't deflate in like 3 hours. But look, come on, Naves. Ooh, Navy's excited about the dinghy too, because it means she can go to the beach.
Okay, so this morning we are having a contractor come to tell us if it's possible to change this countertop. We reached out to some Korean countertop people here, and none of them will touch a boat. And we don't mind doing it ourselves, but we know we will not get the measurements right.
It's not necessarily the measurements. I want it to look good. And we could do it ourselves, but this is, we want to replicate this a little bit. And
yeah, I want the Korean to have a ledge built into it, so we can get rid of this ledge. I think this dates it a lot. And this is just all messed up. We want to take it apart so we can redo this where it's rotting, and we don't want to have like the dividers everywhere. And one of the main reasons is this sink. This sink is awful. It's hard to work with. We don't want to have, before we were drying the dishes off here on the side, and it's just, it takes up too much room that we don't need to take up, and we can just change this into a square sink with 2 dividers, have a bigger sink, and keep the dishes in the sink so we have more counter space.
Yep, I'm excited.
And we might, oh, go ahead.
Floor is pissing me off.
Don't, oh. And we might get this redone too, but we don't know yet because the fridge is being a little finicky, and I'm not in love with our current fridge because I think it's too deep. It's hard to get stuff out of, and it's hard to lift, and we have to keep this clean at all times to get it out, so it's useless space that we could get another fridge, put it here, and have a whole countertop up here. So just things to think about for us. But we are excited that the guy's coming to get the countertop so we can get an idea how much it's going to be, how much work it's going to be, how much it's going to cost, and we'll see.
There's not flowing.
Right.
Is this too close? Or how close, like, what's the...
Contractor just left. It's another one of those things where Colin was not expecting that price.
Well, we don't have a final price, but for this little countertop here, apparently it's very custom.
I mean,
and a lot of work.
But you have to, we want the Corian to have an edge, and to be able to make these corners, he has to heat it up and bend it. And we actually didn't want these corners, but since the whole thing kind of, the whole cabinet bends.
It's curved here, and it's curved here, so it only makes sense to follow the way the cabinet is made now. But anyway, his very rough quote right now is $3,500 for just the kitchen.
And we were thinking...
And then we were wanting to have this redone as well, the refrigerator, but we don't know. We'll wait till the real quote comes in and then make a decision from there, because $3,500 is like
not double what we thought the high end would be. So.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money that could be used towards other things, but also we use the kitchen every single day, multiple times a day, so. For the past 2 days, we've noticed this bird that we're walking by, which you'll see in a minute. It's been hanging out on this boat, and it seems to be injured. And we have called the local raptor center, and they have essentially asked us if we can capture it, and they're going to have a volunteer come and pick it up. It has a wing that's injured, and they're going to take a look at it, but they don't have a volunteer or anyone right now who can help capture it. So they've asked us to do that. So Ashley and I and the dockmaster are going to wrangle the bird, get it in a box, and wait for the volunteers to come pick it up.
Oh.
It's coming to you then.
So the rescuer came and picked up the bird, and then when we went out, I got a metal detector.
Another hobby.
You know, you get on those TikToks and the guy's just metal detecting. And you're like, oh, I want to do that. So we bought a little cheap one from Harbor Freight.
Ashley, that's how Ashley thinks. Anyway.
So we're gonna go see what I can find. It's Charleston. There has to be historic stuff in the sand, right? And the dogs get a beach day out of it, right, dogs? Ooh.
Up from the beach from our relaxation time. The dogs are tuckered out.
I'm not tuckered out.
Ashley's not
I want to go
tuckered
to
out.
another beach.
She wants to keep going, but
Hey, look at all these treasures.
our path back there is slowly turning into water. But look at this treasure we found.
We found a candle, a weight, some bottle caps, a tin can, a penny, and a hook. A really nice hook. Look at that hook.
Soon, this metal detector will pay for itself. Just got to collect a whole bunch more pennies.